to GFam Chronicles. So today's video is gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be my experiences with a stepdad. Now, this is gonna be kind of graphic and yeah, so if you feel like it's gonna cause any sort of traumatic thing to you, maybe you shouldn't watch, even though I would hope that you would still give me the watch time, right? But yeah, no, so if it's going to cause you some sort of PTSD breakdown, or it's a trigger for you to talk about things like this, go ahead and click off the video. Move on to the next one, because this is a rough one. Alright guys, so for those of you who are sticking around, I cannot remember when I met my stepdad, to be honest with you. I was young enough, well, let's figure I had to have been around 4, because that's when I got, yeah, we got put into the system when I was 4. Because my mom and my stepdad decided to rob some old lady, and my stepdad, instead of like being cool about it, he like freaked out, and my mom said that like they only got caught because he looked hella paranoid to the cops. And I was just like, that makes total sense, because he was just very much like that. Anyways, yeah, and they were big into drugs and stuff. Anything that I say about my parents in this video is not to belittle them or to make any of my family members feel like they were less to them than what they know. But this is my experience with my stepdad. This was not the experience of all of my sisters. This was literally just my experience. We were all kind of treated differently when it came to my stepdad. So, and I was the one he didn't like very much. If you guys notice my light keeps twitching, it's because I live in a crappy building, and apparently someone's probably cooking or curling their hair or just plug their phone in. Who knows? Anyways, so don't mind the lighting. Yeah, so my stepdad came into my life, and I had to have been like 3 or 4. I'm gonna go with 4. Yeah. So we were at his mom's house. Yeah, and she wasn't a very nice lady either. And she made sure to let us know we were not her grandkids. We were not her blood grandchildren. Yeah, that annoyed the crap out of me. But anyway, she was racist, so you know what? Cool. I'm not in your blood. Good for me. Kudos. So, yeah. She ended up giving us to the police because my parents got arrested and she didn't want to take care of us. So I ended up in foster care. Now, lots of things happen in foster care. That would be a whole nother video. But long story short, I ended up going to foster care when I was 4, and I got out when I was 7. Yeah, and when I got out of foster care, he was not out of jail yet. And my grandmother lived with us, and things were decent. Okay, look, I always grew up with like very minimal things. So when I got out of foster care, me, my mom, and my sister and my grandmother were living in a 1-bedroom with a pull-out couch for my mom and my grandmother to sleep on. And then me and my sisters all slept in the bedroom. At first it was just me and my younger sister, and then everybody all started coming home after that. So then it was 4 girls in the room and my mom and grandma in the bed. So that situation, I felt like was the best for us as children, to be with our grandmother and our mother. And my mom was like too busy worrying about, you know, doing her own thing. And God, I love my mom. But she lived life to the fullest, and she did whatever the hell she wanted to. And, you know, sometimes that wasn't the best for us to see, but I still love her nonetheless, because she's a crazy woman. But yeah, stepdad got out of jail, and immediately moved back in with us into this little tiny apartment. So now it's 4 kids in the bedroom, mom, dad, and grandma on the pull-out couch. My mom and my grandmother were not small people. You know, I don't come from small people. Stepdad was very small. He was very petite. So I guess he just squeezed in. Things didn't go so well. I'm not sure exactly what happened because I was a kid, but my grandmother eventually moved out. It was bad. It was pretty bad. And then that's when like the abusive stuff started. He started just being mean. He would throw things at me and then laugh about it, or he would tease me about certain things. Like, oh my gosh, when I was younger, I could not for the life of me spell elephant. I didn't get the PH. You know what I'm saying? And he used that and he teased me. And he's like, how can you not spell what you are? And I was just like, this little girl. And I don't know why someone would be so mean. But he was who he was. He was very racist. He didn't like the fact that I was friends and played Barbies with little black kids on the block, and that most of my friends were black, but we lived in the hood. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what he expected. I am a product of my environment that he provided. So yeah. Me and him never agreed on the whole racist thing. I've never understood that. Never in my life. I remember the first time that he found me with my first black boyfriend, right? We weren't even like boyfriend girl. It was just like kiddie, whatever. Like the kid was pushing me on the swings, right? Kid's pushing me on the swings. Next thing I know, I see my dad's car driving up on the grass to the park, onto the freaking playground, and trying to hit us on the swings. We had to run from the swings onto the slide so that he wouldn't hit us. And then he was calling me all kinds of crazy names. And I had to get in the car. And that boy, yeah. I didn't see him again for a very, very long time until I was much, much older. Probably for the best though, because that kid ended up going to prison for life. So, yeah, I guess in his own way, he was trying to protect me. I don't know, but the kid was like a kid still, so he hadn't even, I don't know. But anyways, when I was 10 or 11, the abuse started getting a lot worse. And I believe it got worse for me because I wouldn't just let him beat on my mom. I was that little girl when I seen that like my mom had had enough. She was just beaten to, you know. I didn't know what else to do, you guys. I didn't know what else to do. So I just jumped on him. And I would literally claw my nails into him to try and get him to just stop hitting my mom. You know what I mean? And I think because of that, he really, really, really didn't like me. And so, like, my head went through TVs. I had coffee cups thrown at my head, like big glass coffee cups. He would laugh about it. He threw me in the litter box. A cat litter box was shit. And he threw live roaches at me and would laugh at me. I mean, he was disgusting. He was so disgusting. And I just thank God every single day that he was never sexual about his abuse. I thank God for that. I really, really do. That's the one thing that that man had going as far as a moral compass goes. Yeah. So that stuff happened. My mom and dad got into another fight, like always. He ended up beating her up. He went away for, I believe it was like 8 or 9 years. Don't quote me on that. I'm sure my sister will come out and be like, no, it was this much time. But yeah, I just remember it being a very, very long time. Or maybe that time, no, that time wasn't the long stint. Maybe it was just a couple months. I'm tripping. That time was just a couple of months. It was later on when he broke her entire. I was 15 years old when that happened. And I was in jail at the time because me and my mom had gotten into a fight. It's a long story, guys. I've had a crazy childhood. I'm going to write a book about it. If you guys know of any, I think they're called underwriters. Whatever, whoever you tell your story to and then they write it in a book and y'all get paid. If y'all know anyone like that, hit me up. Hit me up in the DMs. Leave a comment down below. You know how to do it. Oh yeah, don't forget to subscribe, y'all. Okay, if you're still with me. If you're still with me, don't forget to subscribe. So anyways, 15 years old, he ends up going back to prison. We don't see him for a long time. I think I was 23 or 24, 25. Around 25 when I saw him again. So yeah, a good long stint. And while he was away, my mom divorced him. She got clean. She changed her entire living situation. After that, we had 2 more sisters. One was by him. The other one wasn't. Thank God. Yeah, and he was just gone. And I was so grateful. I was so glad he wasn't in our lives because he was so, like, he caused me to have PTSD because of some of the stuff that he did. And for the longest time, like when I was a kid, I used to think, like, why did he get my mom addicted to this shit? Like, why? And then as I became an adult, my mom confided in me and she told me, like, no, I got him into it. And I was like, you created this mess? But like, no, his parents created that mess, okay? So 25 years old, he gets out of prison. At this point, my sisters all have children. They don't really want him around their kids, like, to be staying in their house, right? And I don't have kids. I'm unable to have children. I'm sterile. So I said, okay, you know what? You can come to my house. Even after all of the abuse, after all of everything that he put me through, I still told him to come and stay with me because he had nowhere else to go. So he came to live with me and my black boyfriend that I had been with for like 15 or 16 years at the time. And he was very fake with everyone. I had all black friends still, but he was very fake about it. And as soon as everyone would leave, and it was just me and him in the house, he went right back into those old ways where at one point he ended up throwing bleach all over me. And guys, I know you ain't supposed to put your hands on your parents, okay? I know. And Jesus, Lord, please forgive me. I put my hands on that man twice. And I'm not talking about bing, bing. I'm talking about I had to put my hands on him 2 different times as a grown woman. But I still let him stay in my house. I drew the line, and I know my family might be mad at me for saying this, but y'all just got to suck it up because I've been holding it in. My father, stepdad, confided in me when he was drunk one night that he attacked his mother and left her on the floor for dead. We found out she was injured 3 days after whatever had happened. Police were involved, everything. He had me tell them he wasn't there because I don't know when he could have done that. Because at the time that they said it was done, he was at my house. So I don't know when he did it. But he told me that he did do it. And I said, you know what? You gotta go. Because if you'll kill your own mom, the woman who gave you birth, you'll do anything to anyone else in this world. He's killed black men because they were black. He's killed Mexican dudes because they were Mexican. Like, the man came home with tons of stories from prison. You know what I mean? He was disgusting. And he said he killed his own mom. At the time, my mom was really sick. And I said, you know what? I don't trust you, bro. I don't trust you around me. I don't trust you around my mom. And when my mom passed away, dude, she wasn't talking to me because my stepdad told her some bullshit. And once again, she took his side because that was her husband. And it was always her husband over her kids. Or at least over me. Anyways, guys. The moral of the story is know that if you have stepchildren, that what you do to them and how you treat them will affect the people that they become. It will affect their lives in the biggest ways. They're looking at you as guidance to be the type of human being you're supposed to be. I mean, they are supposed to be. So, just remember that, guys. And be the best damn step parent you can. Don't be like that dude. I mean, that dude was just a grimy person in general. I don't know that has much to do with being a stepdad, but that's who he was. I considered him to be the devil. And when he died, all I could say to him was, I hope God have mercy on your soul. But I doubt it. And I walked away. Because what else can you say to a man like that? I'm not going to say, oh, I love you and I'm going to miss you, even though my family feels like he's not that bad of a guy. He made mistakes, and yeah, he did make mistakes, and I get it, the whole drugs and all of that control people, and I get that. But you can't use that as your lifelong excuse for being a piece of shit. You just can't. If you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit. So, and he was a huge piece of shit. So, that's my stories about being a stepdaughter to a bad stepdad. Guys, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. If you feel like this message will reach someone, go ahead and send it out. And for those people who were in my situation who dealt with a step-parent like that or are dealing with that now, stay strong. Stay strong, because they can only screw with you until you're an adult, and then you're allowing them to do so. And that's the mistake that I made. I allowed him to treat me like crap after I was an adult, and I should have never given him the time of day. So just be strong. You will get through this. You eventually turn 18 and you can get the hell away from whoever it is. Okay? Stay strong, guys. Thanks for joining GFAM Chronicles.